Hello guys, well, as you can see, I will be reading Steve Martini, Rule of 9. Okay? Okay? Now, this is a book by Steve Martini. It's a, well, you know. So, instead of you guys reading it, I am going to read it to you, so you don't have to. I don't suggest cheating in school and writing this down as your report. Oh yes, I just hit the fix something. Okay? Now, what I see a lot of kids do is when I had my old reading things where I would read, it would get out of hand and people would just cheat and they would use it as their essays and stuff like such. So what I'm going to do is I am going to read it to you, and for you cheaters out there, I am going to delete all the rest of my episodes if you cheat. Now, I can't tell if you cheated. But, sorry, so, sorry about that. I can't tell if you cheat or not, so I'm just gonna take a wild guess. So I'm gonna leave these videos up for 3 days. And for 3 days, I will, after the 3rd day, I'll delete all my videos to make sure none of you cheat and you just listen to these for fun. Since I am the one who's reading the book, I'm supposed to write a book card on it. So I feel like letting you know I read, and I don't just play video games. I'm not just a YouTuber who, does nothing. So I'm going to read Steve Martini, Rule of 9. Chapter 1. Jimmy Snyder was 23, tall and lanky. He had been in his current job less than 2 months, and he was scared. He knew he had screwed up. He lay awake at nights worrying about it, as if under Chinese water torture, waiting for the next drop to hit him on the forehead. It was all about expectations, mostly his father's. Snyder's dad was the managing partner in a large law firm in Chicago. Jimmy had graduated pre-law from Stanford a year earlier, and his father wanted him to go to law school, but Jimmy wanted to go into film production. His father would have none of it. As far as the old man was concerned, Jimmy needed credentials to round out his law school application and beef up his less than stellar undergraduate grades in middling LSAT score. Toward the end, his father pulled every string within reach to land the boy a job in Washington. The best he could do on short notice was a temporary position in part-time guide. The job was holding pattern until his dad could yank more levers and land something better. It took him 3 months and hefty contribution to a senator in Alabama, but he found a spot for Jimmy as a staff golfer with one of many Senate subcommittees. This particular panel was charged with overseeing sensitive matters of intelligence. As it turned out, the nature of the assignment now made the situation even worse for his son. It might take a while for the details to trickle back, to filter from one branch to other, but Jimmy knew he would be called on the carpet sooner or later and asked to explain how he could have done something so stupid. How could he have allowed some middle-aged lawyer from California wearing a polo shirt and shorts walk his way backstage, past all the locked doors and the phalanx of security, into a private sanctum off limits to all but the gods of government? What, in an earlier dedicated terror, had become grounds for job termination and possibly criminal persecution. So, what's happening so far, guys, if you don't really understand, he has this job, apparently, and, well, his dad has high expectations for Jimmy Snyder, and he let some guy into a place where he's not supposed to be allowed to, except for the gods of government, like police officers, senates, legislators, and such on. Jimmy had spent a week of sleepless nights trying to conjure up some plausible explanation for why he had done it. Call it a bad judgment. Maybe it was because he was angry and bored. He hated the job and the fact that his father had manipulated him into taking it. It was that, but also the fact that the man he met that day was so easy to talk to. Unlike Snyder's father, the guy was affable, approachable, and interested. He listened to everything Jimmy had to say. When Jimmy told him he didn't really want to pursue a career in law, the lawyer, a perfect stranger, gave him an absolution. He told Jimmy that the first rule of success in life was to follow your dreams, and then to find out what the guy was a Stanford law on vacation. How could Jimmy say no? All the man wanted was to see a few of the rooms off limits to the public. Jimmy had already finished the tour of duty for the day. What was the harm? It wasn't as if they'd done anything wrong other than take a few pictures, chat, and look around. You would never known the man was there. Jimmy still had a guy's business card in his wallet. Warren Humphreys, attorney at law, which an address in Santa Rosa, California. So he's a guy who apparently lets this law firm lawyer into the building in Washington, D.C. as of it's restricted to the public, but he apparently couldn't say no to a lawyer. Just to make sure you're understanding it. Excuse my language because of the some words in this book might be tricky for me because it's like, well, yeah. So bear with me, guys. Thank you. You know, so sorry the video was so short. Sorry about that. Like I was saying, well, you probably watched the other video already. Like I was saying, you know, he's a guy in a law firm. You might want to wait till all of the videos are out, and on the final video, say I'll put book final. Yeah. So let's take it from here. No one of the other Senate staffers told Jimmy that inquiries were being made. Nothing formal as yet, but it was likely to cause waves because the incident could not be contained on the legislative side. Sooner or later, Jimmy was likely to be visited by investigators. Like a bad dream, all the little details tripped through his brain as he walked out of the doors of the hard Senate office building. Even now, a few minutes after 6, with the sun sailing toward the horizon, the heat of midsummer was oppressive. Most of the members of Congress were gone back to their district for the recess, leaving staff to wither in the sultry heat of National Swamp. Beads of sweat ran down the back of his shirt collar as he thought about what could happen. He didn't dare tell his father. A very little aspect of what seemed an innocent adventure of courtesy to a friendly tourist now appeared much more ominous. Sorry guys, I don't know what half these words mean. Well, I do, actually. Most of them I know what they mean, but a lot of them I don't. So, if you guys don't either, look them in the dictionary. And my school says I have to read, well, for 6th grade, 5th grade, I believe 5th grade also, and 7th and I think 8th also, I'm not sure, but in my school, you know, we have to read, yeah, I think 8th and 6th and 7th. No, I know 7th, and I know 6th, and I can't remember 5th or whatever. So we have to read 20 minutes, but since I already read this book called Turtle, it's 42 pages, it took me like 5 minutes to read it. And then I finished my other book, which took me like 10 minutes to finish. I read a little more than 20. So I think this will be it for today. And sorry this was such a short episode, guys. I'll put it with the other episode, guys. And thank you. Enjoy these pictures of the book. Goodbye.